Pets Add Life, your guide to the latest in pet trends, products, and the joy of the human-animal bond, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and Dog TV.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pets Add Life. I am one of your co-hosts, Chris Bonifati, and joining me as always, she's the podcast queen, the content machine, Kristen Levine.
That. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Did you just make that up?
Yeah, just now.
You are so good. You're better in 2026 than you were in 2025.
I'm aging like a fine wine.
Well, you're probably aging because it's trade show season, right?
It is, so yeah. You can tell by how dark my eyes are. The defeat in them.
Yeah. Chris has about 2 months before the big Global Pet Expo, so you're pretty much going to be feeling like this for the next few shows.
Yeah, my Q1 is always just pure, unadulterated chaos, but it's the chaos in which I thrive, so hey.
Yeah. Well, and it's like also in the pet industry, there are 2 veterinary conferences, one in January, which I'm headed to, one in February. So it's like Q1 is crazy. You get shot out of a cannon on January 1st.
Yeah, the pet industry knows how to get the year started off with a bang. Everybody comes back from break and it's like, well, get on the road, kiss your families goodbye, get on the road.
Exactly.
You'll see them in April. But hey, we've got a great show for everybody that I think we're all going to enjoy because we have 2 guests, 2 stories, 2 products, and we're going to answer 2 of your questions. I don't know what else to say, Kristen. It's just the way we do things around here.
Yeah, I think you've said it all. Let's do stories.
Let's do stories.
Kristen and Chris present Story Time.
All right, here we go. All right, Kristen, I'm going to kick us off here. I got a fun little story here, and anybody who's in the Baltimore, Maryland, or greater Baltimore area, this one is for you. And it's about a fun little museum exhibit. What are they calling it? It's an exhibition called Paws on Parchment that tracks how cats were depicted in the Middle Ages through texts and artworks from around the world, including one example of a 15th century keyboard cat. So this is sort of the keystone piece, the keyboard cat thing. It is a 15th century Flemish manuscript, some type of religious text, as most of these things were. And on it are a couple of inky paw prints and some smudged words, as this monk probably left his work to dry, and one of the monastery cats came in and stepped all over his stuff, and it was preserved. Yes, but it's a whole, it's at the Walters Art Museum, for those of you familiar with the Baltimore area. It's running through late February, so you still got plenty of time to go check it out. But there's all sorts of different manuscripts and objects and illustrations from this period of time, this medieval period of time. I'm looking at one right now it's a 15th century Flemish prayer book that's got a cat messing with a gray cat messing with, some type of pipe organ that was probably inspired by actual events. And you know how medieval paintings look like.
Yes.
Creepy. Like this cat looks creepy. Its eyes are way too big on its head. The anatomy of the paws are all wrong. But still, it just goes to show you how entwined cats have been in our lives since we've been writing stuff down and recording things.
Yeah, they've been ruling our lives for a long time.
Yeah, and they've also got some Turkish stuff in there from I'm going to try to pronounce this properly, Islamic cosmography.
Cosmography. Interesting.
Which is a 13th century work. So this goes really far back. Paws on Parchment is the name of the exhibit. Again, Walters Art Museum in Baltimore. So you've got this episode's coming out at the end of January. You got about a month to go check it out. So if you're in the area, I would highly recommend it. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds like a good winter activity to do.
Yes,
And
inside.
inside. And I have another kind of cool winter activity. And ironically, it's in the Northeast as well. There is a brand new place called Woof Play Eat up in Portland, Maine. It's basically, they describe it as Disneyland for dogs. And it's the first spot of its kind on the East Coast that's part indoor, part outdoor dog park. So obviously this time of year, you're going to really appreciate that indoor dog park. They also have a doggy daycare on site, a full service restaurant and bar, which is opening next month. So that'll be in February. So people can kick back, sip a craft cocktail or a coffee while your dog plays with his friends. And I think what's kind of cool about this is they've designed it with both human and pet enrichment in mind. So the dogs get supervised play, customized enrichment zones, apparently, and temperature controlled indoor areas for all season fun. They also have staff members that call themselves wooferees, just to kind of make sure that everybody's playing nicely together. And the coolest part, of course, is the restaurant bar attached. So instead of it being a restaurant bar that's pet friendly, it was actually created for as a place for pets and people to be able to spend time together, because we want to spend time with our dogs. I would love to take Tulip everywhere, but I can't yet. So, so I may be headed up to Maine for a visit.
I love the city of Portland. That's fun fact. That's where I had my bachelor party.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No
Because I'm
kidding.
just such an exciting guy. The nightlife of Portland, Maine, I yearn for it. No, but I love that city. That fits the bill exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we talk a lot about pet friendly spaces, but I think places like that, it's kind of solving like one of the causes of the loneliness epidemic, which is the lack of third spaces. Like you go home, you go to work, you go home, you go to work. And if you own a dog, it could be tough when you leave work, like you're going home because that's where the dog is and there's nowhere else you could bring them. So these social spaces that are created not just with animals in mind, but animals at the front and center are amazing, because you're going to meet some like-minded people and you're going to be able to have a nice drink, and your dog's going to be able to get well socialized and cared for. So I think places like that are amazing opportunities for not just as from a business perspective, but from a community perspective as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Pets are great social icebreakers too. So, for introverts or those of us who work from home, who just need occasionally to get out and meet people, make new friends, this is a great way to do that.
I agree. Or if you're like me and just hate people, maybe this will warm your icy heart.
Beyond the Leash, exploring the untold stories of pet passion and professionalism.
Please join me in welcoming Christopher Hanna, a South Jersey public school music teacher and the proud partner of Cole, a deaf pit bull whose life and work challenged the idea that disability means limitation. Passed over at the South Jersey Regional Animal Shelter for being labeled broken, Cole was adopted by Chris in 2017 and quickly proved anything but. Highly responsive to sign language and deeply intuitive, Cole became a powerful presence in classrooms, helping children understand that being different is not a weakness, it's a strength. Together, Chris and Cole launched the Team Cole Project. It's a social emotional learning program that helps students reframe feelings of brokenness into confidence, empathy, and self-worth. Cole now works daily, every single day in school, and he's volunteered over 500 hours as a therapy dog, earned the Presidential Silver Service Award, became the official mascot of the New Jersey Veterans Memorial Home, and has been featured on Good Morning America, The Rachel Ray Show, Entertainment Tonight, and just, oh my gosh, so many shows. Certified through Bright and Beautiful Therapy Dogs, Inc., Cole also serves as a hospice therapy dog, spreading compassion wherever he goes. Welcome, Chris and Cole.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
That's quite a bio. We're delighted to have you. So, Chris, when you first met Cole at the shelter, what was it that made you feel that this was the dog that you needed to adopt, who others had passed over?
So when I was looking for my first rescue dog, literally the first dog that popped up on their website was named Harry Potter, and it had the word special needs next to his name. So I have special needs members of my family. I've been a teacher for this is my 25th year. So special needs, those two words mean a lot to me. So I clicked on it, and it happened to be that he was born deaf, and I immediately thought about my nephew Kevin, who was now 18, was 9 at the time. Was born hard of hearing and wears cochlear implants. I was like, I'm intrigued. So I made an appointment the next day. My principal let me leave early so I get to the shelter before it closed. And they opened the waiting room doors. I called in some favors so I could meet this little puppy. They opened the doors. He literally ran in, jumped into my arms, just stared into my eyes, and who is now my wife, captured the moment. And I look back at it, almost every single day, and it's just the way he looked at me and I looked at him, and it was just the stars aligned that day.
Yeah, I'm sure that was an absolutely magical moment that a lot of people could relate to when they met their forever dog. But let's talk a little bit about labels and overhearing that person say that the dog is broken. When did you realize that a disability can actually become one of someone's greatest strengths? Like, how did you see that in the dog in that moment and sort of recognize greatness where other people saw a problem?
So I had a niece that was born with Down syndrome, and she passed away when she was 12, but she really changed my mind about what disability truly means. And she taught me that different is beautiful. And I always wanted to find a way to kind of carry her legacy on. But her little brother is my nephew, who was born deaf. And I looked at my nephew, who flourished in school. He was an award-winning drummer at a very young age. And here this boy wears cochlear implants, is deaf. He's an incredible artist. And I just kind of always knew, like in the back of my mind, that a disability is not an inability, but how do I teach that to the world? How do I teach it to students? And then I met this little puppy. I put his picture on my smartboard behind me and of the day we met, and my students started asking questions. And that's when it hit me that I have found the way to teach kids about kids like my nephew and my niece and abilities of kids like that. So it was very, very quickly that I kind of realized that I have a catalyst here that every teacher sort of dreams of, so I ran with it as, the best that I could. Are you getting down? Okay,
so,
go ahead, jump down.
Teaching kids, what has Cole taught you about communication that goes beyond words? Because I understand Cole responds to sign language. What has he helped you learn about communicating without words?
He's honestly changed my entire perspective on how I view the world, how I view communication, how I view the everyday tasks that we all take for granted. Because I see that he is able to overcome so many obstacles. I always kind of correlate it with my nephew or kids like my nephew. And it just really taught me, like, you have to take a step back and kind of look at, like, how do I learn to communicate differently? How do I open up my heart? And just yesterday, I did a project with some of my students, and I incorporate this into my classroom lessons. I'm a music teacher at an elementary school. So for me to be the one teaching this kind of hits kids a little differently. So we did a whole project in the first half of class. We were all nonverbal. I didn't speak, they didn't speak, but we communicated differently. And then the second half of class, we put blindfolds on and we learned about what blindness might mean for someone. And we made music, being blind, and we played drums and we played the instruments and we sang. And it resonates with kids in a different way, because when they're tasked with something disability related, they instantly think of Cole and piece the puzzle pieces of their lives through his eyes. So it's just really awesome to sit and watch the way that they're rallying around him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking a lot about communication, and I think one of the most difficult things for both children and adults is opening up talking about what's bothering them or their own struggles. Why do you think it is that it becomes easier with an animal around, or even just being able to speak directly to a dog who may not understand the exact words that you're saying or what you're trying to communicate, but that presence of something listening? Why do you think it is that these therapy dogs act as such an anchor for children and adults too?
It's I truly believe, and I've seen in this journey that I've had with Cole, I watch the way that an animal can break barriers of the toughest individuals. And I watched it with a student the very first year Cole started working here. The little boy was sitting with Cole, and I had noticed that he's whispering into Cole's ear. So we had a conversation at the end of class, and I said, what are you talking to Cole about? I was like, you don't need to tell me what you're talking to Cole about, but why did you choose Cole? And he said, because he can't hear me, so I know he's never going to tell anybody. So, it was those moments. I've had students that tell me he's never going to judge me because he likes me the way that I am. So animals have that. And it's amazing how many adults have that same mentality too. I couldn't tell you how many teachers, how many hospice patients I've listened to them confiding. Just last weekend, we met a new hospice patient that's a veteran, and he was having the deepest conversation with my dog. And he's like, I know he can't hear me, but I just have to tell it to him anyway. So it's just watching that happen that it's magical. I don't know how else to put it. It literally is magical, and I get to live it every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is magical. And, this whole experience of you rescuing Cole has grown into the Team Cole project. And I understand that you also have 2 other deaf dogs.
So we expanded our program a few years ago. We have Cece, who is deaf. She's an Aussie pit bull mix. Then she's from Tennessee. We got Alice from Southern Florida. She was born deaf. She was born with one eye, and she has a cleft palate. So she has resonated with some of my students that have had cleft surgeries and stuff. And then just a little over a year ago, we adopted Sullivan, who is a deaf blind pit bull, who he was also born with dwarfism. So he is literally the same genetic makeup as Cole, but he's 26 pounds. He's this big. He's the tiniest little dude. But in July, August, he got certified as a registered therapy dog too. So all 4 of them are certified therapy dogs that work in the facilities that we do. They do the school assemblies with us, and they do give Cole a few days a week off. So, he gets a little downtime. He doesn't like it. Yeah. He fights me to come into school every day, but so
that's funny. So you've volunteered, I have here, more than 500 hours, which is a lot of time. And I'm sure that prep time and training goes, just adds and adds and adds to that number. But what have you learned? What's changed? How have you changed as a human being over the course of those 500 hours, serving and volunteering and helping people?
At the time that bio was written, that was actually about 4 years ago. So we've hit almost 2,000.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of hours.
What we've learned is that my wife and I, we've changed the mindset of our lives, that we now live a life of service to others. So, just last night, I put a post on Cole's social media about time, and about giving someone your time is literally the greatest gift you can have. So we met with this hospice patient just last weekend for the very first time. And within like 5 minutes, they're curled up in bed together, and Cole's just giving him all the attention. And the man said the words, "I'm glad I stayed breathing long enough to meet this dog." And it just, like, literally, you crumble in your seat, but you have to show your strength. When we get in the truck, it's time to decompress right now. But there's so many moments of those things that have happened, and I've literally learned that, one, my dog is the greatest listener of anything that I've ever met, and the whole team of them are, and they can't hear because they're not waiting for the phone to buzz. They're not waiting for the text message. They're not waiting for a phone call. They're not concerned about what's happening. They're there, and they're present with the person that they are working with. And I see that with my students. I see that even sometimes when we need them, like We got done meeting with this hospice patient. It's heavy on the dog. It's heavy on us emotionally. So we get home and it's like, all right, dude, like we're going to go to a pet store. We're going to go shopping a little bit. We're going to decompress because we need it as much as he does. So we just learned that like that time, whether it's a passing by of a facility room and you're just saying hello and you're just waving, or they're just giving them a quick hug, or if it's sitting and talking for 2 hours, or we've had patients that literally just curl up and take a nap with him. And I just sit in the back of the room and watch and just enjoy it. Time is what we've learned, and time and giving someone your undivided time.
That's so true. And wow, these stories are just amazing, and we thank you so much for sharing Cole with us, and for spreading so much love and support to the kids and the folks at hospice. And we appreciate you joining us in between classes today too.
Yeah, what a champ!
Yeah.
I'm glad no announcements in the middle of the interview.
Yeah, hey, tell us where we can follow your journey with Cole and the others.
Facebook and Instagram, we have our handle is Cole the Deaf Dog. On TikTok, it is Deaf Cole. And we have a website, www.colethedeafdog.com, which will link you to our nonprofit foundation, Cole the Deaf Dog and Friends Foundation. So you get to learn about what
amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll link all of those in the show notes. And we thank you again so much for joining us today, Chris.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, Cole.
It's always a pleasure to meet a fellow Chris, and even better when they're actually a good dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That Chris makes you, Chris, look really good.
I'm a jerk compared to that, Chris. I got to be honest. I'm a jerk compared to that guy.
Can you believe his story? It's just so wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I love what he said about, animals just not judging you. I think that's really powerful. It takes sort of the fear away from opening up. Yeah. And the fact that he's, for lack of a better term, and my brain being fried, weaponized that to become a force for good, I think is incredible. And for all the people out there who feel a little different or feel like you need to talk to somebody and you're not ready to talk to a person, I'm sure there are plenty of animals around who'd love to hear your story. And it is my honor to introduce our next guest, Dr. Bellows, a board-certified veterinary dentist, which you get the beautiful abbreviation of DAVDC. Well earned. He's an educator, an internationally recognized authority on companion animal oral health. With decades of clinical experience, he has taught thousands of veterinarians and authored leading textbooks on small animal dentistry. Dr. Bellows is passionate about helping pet parents understand that dental disease isn't just about bad breath. It's one of the most common, painful, and overlooked health issues in dogs and cats, affecting overall well-being and longevity. And just in time, because February is National Pet Dental Health Month. So thank you, Dr. Bellows, for joining us today.
My pleasure to be here. And thank you for having me so we could spread the word on what clients, what pet owners, what pet lovers can do to help their dogs and cats live a very happy oral life.
Yes. So I want to start at the top by asking about why dental disease is still so common, even though it's relatively preventable.
Yeah, it is so common because pets don't brush their own teeth. It would be nice if, like us, every morning you get up and you smell bad breath and you go brush your teeth and it smells a lot better, kissing breath. And pets can't do that. So what happens is people bring their pet when they have bad breath to the veterinarian. The veterinarian cleans the teeth and it smells pretty good. But unless the periodontal disease is addressed, which are periodontal pockets where food and debris just sit there, you can imagine if your breakfast or lunch was just put in your pocket and you left it there for 6 months and a year and you never change your pants, it would rot. And that's what happens. And it's a great idea for folks to be recommended to brush pets' teeth. But frankly, it is, it's so rarely done, maybe 2 or 3%. So fortunately, there are a lot of other great ways to really help your dog or cat prevent their dental disease.
Oh, good. And I know we're going to get into some of those, but
Sure.
Dr. Bellows, first tell us about what's actually happening below the gum line that is so dangerous and that leads to periodontal disease.
Sure. Great question. So what's happening is normally there are good bacteria, like in our mouths. There's what they call gram-positive bacteria. And as time goes on, unless the plaque that builds up every day is eliminated, calcium and phosphorus from the saliva starts to build up and forms tartar. And what tartar does is it closes that gap between the gums and the teeth, and the bacteria then change from good bacteria to what they call gram-negative smelly bacteria. And that is what destroys the attachment between the tooth and the gums, and that's what causes the inflammation. The whole thing, periodontal disease, is secondary to inflammation, and that comes from the bad bacteria.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you were just saying, because there's a lot of confusion around basically what works. If we want to address this at home and do some maintenance in our own home, whether it's certain types of toys or brushing or certain types of food or additives. So in your well-accredited and professional opinion, what actually works? What can pet parents start doing at home to maintain their pets' oral health?
What works is a combination of things. One thing alone, although, I mean, toothbrushing works great if you get every single tooth in every single area, but it's just not going to be done. So pet parents shouldn't feel guilty if they can't do it. But what I do for my dogs is I take a dental wipe that's wrapped around my fingers like a little handkerchief that has some medication in it that has been what they call VOHC accepted. I'll go over what VOHC is in a moment. And I wipe the teeth every night, and then I give them 2 VOHC accepted treats every day. And those treats help to squeegee off any plaque that's still there. And because of that, I haven't had to give professional teeth cleaning in years. If you don't do any of that, then the people need to see the veterinarian at least every 6 months for anesthesia and professional cleaning. So VOHC stands for Veterinary Oral Health Council. And on the net, it's vohc.org. And there are 75 products on there that you can order online for dogs, and there's 16 products for cats that have been shown that to decrease the accumulation of plaque. And this VOHC is owned by the College of Veterinary Dentistry, and it is staffed by 5 veterinary dentist volunteers. And we have an executive director, and they evaluate different research that is done on these specific products to show, number one, they're safe, and number two, they're effective. But you can't just use one. And the best key of this whole thing is it has to be done every day. For folks that go to the groomer and say, well, every time my dog gets groomed once a month, the groomer, charging me $15 extra, and they get the toothbrush. You can imagine brushing your own teeth once a month. And, you would think, you would think it's just so obvious that animals need daily home care on their teeth. But because it's below the lips, and because, sure, the breath smells like what they call doggy breath, and it's a dog or a cat breath, they accept it. Now, in cats, I recommend that they use a Q-tip dipped in tuna water that's actually rubbed along the gum line every day. The tuna water doesn't do anything medically, but they like the taste. And the cat owners do great. The key is you have to remove the plaque every day because it builds up. And if you leave it there too long, tartar goes on top of it, and then tartar is rough, so then it becomes even more plaque retentive. And it goes back and forth, and this is a horrible thing.
Sure. So, well, that's good to know how if you truly commit to doing these things every single day, are you saying that you would prevent the need for professional cleaning ever for your pet, or are you just going to reduce it? And then, if you don't mind, let's talk
Not at
about
all.
professional cleaning at the veterinary office.
Okay, so you humans usually go see their dentist either every 6 months or every year, depending on their proclivity. In animals, if 1 year is equals 7 years, you can imagine waiting 7 years to go see your dentist. And in humans, the root of the tooth is only a third below the gum line. In animals, it's 2/3 below the gum line because God put them in there so they're really strong so they can chase rabbits and squirrels. They need them. But humans, fortunately, don't have to do that. Uh, but it leaves more areas for the root to get infected in animals. So animals need to see their veterinarian at least once a year for an exam, a exam room exam, not anesthetic exam. One other thing that I don't recommend at all is the non-anesthetic dentals. Some people place their animals in the hands of one of the purveyors of non-anesthetic dentals where the crown is clean, but unfortunately they cannot get them probed and they can't get them x-rayed. So the professional teeth cleaning has anesthesia involved, and anesthesia can be incredibly safe if the animal's checked out first, if the monitoring is done properly, and if they use tailored anesthesia for the animal, and if they're monitored very closely during the recovery period. It's very rare to have an adverse event. While they're under anesthesia, the teeth are cleaned above and below the gum line, and very, very importantly, they're x-rayed. In our office, we also do a CT on them, but the x-rays are so important because it sees what's going on below the gum line, and if the tooth is not covered in at least half the amount of bone, generally we recommend extraction.
So, Dr. Bellows, is oral health something I should pay attention to if I have a puppy or a kitten and all the way up through when they're a senior? Is this something I should wait for them to get to age of maturation? When should I really turn my attention towards this kind of thing?
As soon as you buy the puppy, because you want to get them used to the fun that dental care can be. In our dogs, they know they're going to get their teeth wiped every day, but they also know after the teeth wiping, they run to the place that we put the Yummy Combs and the Vetradent chews. They know exactly where it is. They know they're going to get two. And in my dogs, I do this twice a day. We're real serious about it. So as soon as you can get them excited about it, the better.
That's good advice. Start them very early. And we're coming up on time, Dr. Bellows, but I do want to ask you to help our audience understand how dental disease can impact the rest of our pet's body, like the heart, the kidneys, and
absolutely.
And so on.
Because right around the gum line, there is so much blood supply, and the bacteria is reabsorbed into the blood vessels, and then they go to the kidneys. You know, I tell people that it's usually the kidneys or the heart that gets dogs and cats in the end. And if the kidneys are filtering all this bad bacteria, they get infected, they get inflamed, and they shut down. So animals that have good dental care tend to live longer and happier.
Of course. And better breath.
Yeah. Same with people. Who would have thunk?
Yeah. Exactly.
I tell the clients, if your pet's breath doesn't smell like roses, go see your veterinarian.
So we're all going to the vet. We're coming up on time, Dr. Bellows. But if people want to learn more, or read the latest research, or get some tips on how to take care of their animals' teeth, where would you send them?
All right, I would send them to the American Veterinary Dental College website, avdc.org.
Okay. And we'll also put that in the show notes, Doc, and we'll also put the vohc.org website that you mentioned.
Super.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, happy Pet Dental Month this February.
Yep.
I know you're going to be busy, and we appreciate you spending your time with us today.
Anytime. My pleasure. Bye-bye now.
You know, he's a really big deal in the vet world.
Yeah, I heard he's speaking at VMX. They want to know. The people want to know.
I think I'll stalk him, see if I can track him down in person.
Well, the real question, Kristen, is how often do you clean Tulip's teeth? Yeah, not often enough, apparently. That's what we just learned.
Not often enough. I am using chews and some of the powder, but no, it's not often enough. And now I know. So I'm going to change my habits.
You got to get those dental wipes.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe that should have been my product of the week.
The product of the week.
All right, Kristen, it's time for our product of the week. I'm going to go ahead and let you kick things off for us.
Ooh, okie dokie. Well, so I was reading about how fast pet food can go stale. And they say that they were specifically referring to kibble, but I think this could probably apply to freeze-dried, air-dried food as well. Within just 2 weeks of opening the bag, kibble starts losing nutrients unless it's sealed airtight. So I came across this really cool, and I got to admit, this is a splurge. So just be prepared. But it is, have you heard of the company called Simple Human? They make,
no, I have not.
They make really cool stuff. This is a pet food can. It looks like a trash can, but it's a, beautiful stainless steel, really, sleek design.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Now, as soon as you said that, I was like,
yeah.
Bing! I have seen this.
They make trash cans and makeup mirrors and other things like that. And this one in particular holds up to 32 pounds of kibble. It features a built-in scoop and a Loctite handle. So when you can actually, you don't have to pour the kibble into this thing, although you can if you have multiple pets or cats and dogs, you can just put the bags into this can and it seals it airtight. And that's going to give you, keep your pet food fresher. And the other thing too is, people are always looking for ways to save money, and you can buy pet food in bulk at a much larger bag than you need at a better cost price point. So this would be a really great way to do that without having to worry that excess pet food that you just bought is going to go stale. So the price tag on it's really high, but it is beautiful and super cool. It's $170, but for those of you who probably don't want to spend $175, I can tell you that Vittles Vault is a really low cost option. So I've kind of got two products of the week: the Simple Human pet food can or the Vittles Vault for just $35.
Well, I think that is great. And remember, people, if you wouldn't eat stale food, why are you making your dog do it? Come on. I got something in theme here because we're starting to talk about dental health, as February is, National Pet Dental Health Month, something like that. Mm-hmm. I forget what all these holidays are. I'm not very religious, but I was starting to think about products and stuff like that. And since we did have the good Dr. Bellows on the show today to kind of start talking about this kind of stuff, I said, you know what? It may not be February quite yet, but I'll go ahead and share a little product that I found. And this one comes from Swedencare. It is their plaque off powder for cats. Because I don't know if anybody's ever tried to brush a cat's teeth. You can't. Anybody
not without Kevlar gloves.
Yeah, anybody who says just brush their teeth, you're allowed to punch them in the face. That's from me. That's my gift to you. And the thing about cats is there's not a lot of alternatives because they don't do the rip and tear play the way dogs do, where you could give a dog like a Nylabone or a Greenies or even like rope toys where they're kind of ripping and tearing with their teeth and it's almost acting like a floss. So cats are in this really weird spot, and a lot of cats suffer and end up passing due to dental and mouth related illnesses because it becomes an unclean area when they're not taking care of themselves. So this plaque off powder is essentially a supplement that you're going to mix into their food, and it's just a tiny little scoop. It's going to treat for plaque prevention and tartar prevention. It's going to treat bad breath and it's going to stop bacterial buildup. And it's just a great maintenance. It's not going to stop anything major. It's not going to stop infections or, the crazy stuff that pops up. But this is a great, inexpensive way to maintain your cat's oral health. A big old jar of this is going to run you $18. It's the smallest little scoop ever. You put it in their food every day. It really is. The scooper is so cute. It's like, it really is just the tiniest little thing. And obviously this product will be in your show notes. It is accepted by the Veterinary Oral Health Council. So I assume that council has a little chutzpah behind it. And I know some of my team members over at APA use this product as well. So it gets the Chris Bonifati stamp of approval, the PAL stamp of approval, and the product of the week stamp. There we go. Take care of your animals' mouths, people. Do it.
Brush them, brush them, brush them.
Q&As.
All right, Kristen, it is time for our favorite part of the show. That's right. We're going to answer 2 questions from our lovely audience. And I know what you're thinking. How do I get my question answered by Chris and Kristen? Well, it couldn't be easier. You're going to head on over to petsadlife.org/podcast. Scroll on down to the bottom of that page and you'll see a form to submit your question. Or if you're feeling as brave as a cat dad about to brush his cat's teeth, you can record a voice memo and we'll play your question live on the show.
That would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know much about cool, but that would be pretty cool. Kristen, I'm going to start with a question for you here that comes from Evan. And Evan's from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn in the house. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. I don't make fun of it, where people are from, but for whatever reason, I decided to today. Kristen, Evan asks, I adopted my dog during the pandemic and didn't get to socialize her much early on. Is it too late to properly socialize an adult dog? And where should I start?
This is it's actually kind of a common question, Evan. And I'm glad you tossed this one to me, Chris, because I also adopted a dog during the pandemic. Little Miss Tulip was adopted in 2020. Tulip. Yeah. So here's the short answer is no, it's not too late. However, with older dogs, we kind of shift from calling it socialization, which is technically a puppy specific, like developmental stage. And instead we call it desensitization and counter conditioning. Or that's what trainers call it. Yeah, you know what I mean. We've talked about it on the show, but it basically means that you want to gently introduce your dog to new people or new animals or experiences at a pace that she can comfortably handle. And you want to pair those experiences or those exposures with really positive things like treats or playtime or praise. And over time, this is going to help your dog feel more comfortable and more confident. I would start with quieter environments. Don't start with taking her downtown for a parade, and also make sure it's a very slow introduction to whatever you're introducing her to, whether it's new dogs or new environments. And don't ever force it. If your dog appears to be just fearful or timid, just back it off and maybe take it slower. Or maybe that is something that your dog is just really never going to be comfortable with. And that's okay. But yeah, make sure you've got plenty of her favorite treats in your pocket or she has a favorite toy. Those are great tools to have on hand. But yeah. And if you are really having a lot of trouble, you can always talk to your veterinarian because they can recommend a veterinary behaviorist to help you. That's usually if it's a little bit, if the dog is a little bit more either reactive or frightful, and your attempts to slowly counter condition them is not working. But I think you're going to have some really good success. Just take it slow with her.
You heard it here, first, folks. Kristen Levine, you can teach old dog new tricks.
Absolutely.
She said it, not me. Well, that's all she wrote. And by she, I mean we. That's all. And by wrote, I mean spoke. But that's all we spoke is not a saying. So I didn't say that. But it is the end of our episode. As you can tell, my brain's fried. It's over. I've got nothing left for you. But hey, we're going to be back next Tuesday, aren't we?
Like it or not.
Like it or not. Like
We
it
are.
or not, we're here.
That's right. Yeah, and don't forget, you can, if you're not already watching us on YouTube, you can check us out on YouTube on the Pets at Life channel. You can watch us on the Dog TV app or streaming channels. And did I miss any of the channel? Of course, social media channels. We're all over social.
We're everywhere. We're spread thin like a fine margarine over a piece of rye toast.
Oh my gosh.
It's lunchtime over here. I'm hungry. Let's get out of
Sounds
here,
like
Kristen.
it. Hey, I got a tail-end tidbit to leave you all with, and that is that dogs have about 1,700 taste buds, whereas humans have 9,000 taste buds, and this might explain why some dogs eat their own poop. Maybe they just can't fully taste it.
Well, Kristen, I've got one best bud, and that's you. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Pets Add Life, your guide to the latest in pet trends, products, and the joy of the human-animal bond, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and Dog TV.
As you heard on the episode, February is National Pet Dental Health Month. And just for you, our amazing viewers, we've got 5 possum tips to keep your dog's teeth sparkly clean. Let's do it, Team Dog Breath.
Pets Add Life, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and Dog TV.
Give them a big round of applause for all the winners.
Congratulations, guys.
Beyond the Leash, exploring the untold stories of pet passion and professionalism.
Yeah, go to the vet. Don't ask us.
Wow, is Chris as handsome as he sounds?
The product of the week.
Because we're having so much fun together.
If you encounter a snake, don't be a Chris. Just walk the other way.
be a Chris.
Why risk it?
Get it? Tail end.
Q&As. Kristen and Chris present Storytime.
We already have the giggles. I'm sure that the energy's unhinged.
Yeah,
The
it
energy's
is. Off the
unhinged.
charts.
Listen to Pets Add Life with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonifati every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.